This is a parent video to explain to parents and show parents and things that they can do if a child is struggling in the area of phonics. So, there actually is a progression in reading. It starts with PA, which we talked about in the previous video, and the next level is phonics. So, phonics is that one to one correspondence, meaning knowing that the written letter makes this sound. So, for example, when you write a F, then you know that it makes the sound of F. So, the first thing that you do in phonics, usually this happens in kindergarten, but sometimes it also happens in pre K, is making sure that they know all the sounds of their alphabet. Then, moving on from that, you would also note that a vowel, knowing the difference between a consonant and a vowel, is very important. That a vowel can make what we call a long sound and a short sound. So an O would have two sounds, ah and O. Then also at the end of kindergarten, we start talking about what's called digraphs. So digraphs would be two letters that make a sound. For example, CK makes the sound of K, and SH makes the sound of sh. So those two letters put together making that sound. Then when you get to first grade, they expect that you know all of the kindergarten foundational phonics, and then they add the digraphs, and they also start putting together one-syllable words. They start with what's called a consonant vowel consonant. So, for example, cat has a consonant, and then A is the vowel, and then another consonant. So they start with those and making sure that they have one-to-one correspondence with that. And it would move into when we get into the end of first grade and the beginning of second grade, you can start talking about two-syllable words or multisyllabic words. So when you get into first grade, you also start talking about E, the silent E. And many people think that the silent E's job is always to make that vowel long. It is for many instances, but that is not the only job of the E. Also, an E is used in the English language because U and E cannot end a word. So, for example, the word love has a silent E on it because it can't end with a B. Then when you get into second grade, you start with what's called vowel teams. So EE, EA, OI, AY. You teach the vowel teams and you teach what each of them say. And some of them have more than one sound. For example, OW can say ow, but it also can say O. So teaching the students that two letters can make more than one sound will help them decode, because they might not know until they see the actual sentence in the context of the sentence which word it is. So then at the end of kindergarten, beginning of second grade, we start what's called blending. So blending is putting those sounds together and being able to read. So for example, if you had MAT, and I'll write it out for you because this is how the teachers will teach it at school, is they will either have it already written and the kids have to blend each sound like this, at, mat, or they may say the word mat and the kids have to write it and then blend it together. So the more they associate the print and that sound, that's how we put the words together. Okay, I wanted to also talk about making sure that the kids, if they are decoding something, that they do what we call break up each phoneme sound. So for example, if the word was scent, there's many ways you can have the kids break it up. Some are fun, some are not, but that tactile way of breaking them up will really solidify knowing the sound and how to spell it. So if you had the word like scent, this is what we do at school. Our program says, put your hands up and tap it. So we would go s, eh, n, t, scent, and you blend it together. But there are other fun ways that if you're at home, you want to do them. You could take erasers and for each sound, move the eraser. Or maybe you have like little felt pieces, right? So you move the felt pieces with each sound. Or maybe you want to put pennies down and they move it with each sound, or they touch each sound. So you can use anything just to represent that each phoneme has its own sound. Um, I just want to touch base about handwriting because um, sometimes people don't realize that handwriting is really important in the phonics portion of writing, because you need to understand that this sound goes with this symbol. And directionality would say that when you are writing, you go from the top down. Okay. And if you are writing a word that has like a circle in it, so for example, if I had a D, you would want to make that C and then up and down. And that's for a couple different reasons, but what I usually like to tell kids, and this gets them motivated, is, if you want to learn cursive one day, you have to be able to write it correctly, and I have to be able to read it. But it is an important part of connecting the sounds with the writing. Okay. So I wanted to just kind of give you a few things that to be warned about is developmentally, the way children develop their speech is they may not be able to auditorily separate some sounds until a little bit later. So I would even notice, even in second grade, if I say drum, they think they hear drum. They think that they hear the DR together as a J. So just realize that some of this, it's really good modeling. If you hear them saying drum, don't be like, oh, that's so cute. Like, take the moment and stop and show them with your mouth how you say that. Well, this is how you say it. Watch my mouth. Drum. And then they'd be able to spell it. Because if not, then they're going to spell exactly how they say it. When reading, I want to let you know that not all reading is equal. Not all books are equal. So the more your student reads, the more vocabulary they get, the more practice they get. But for students who maybe struggle in reading, I wanted to just tell you that if you have access to the internet, if you put in decodable text, that will give you access. If you have a printer, that's great. But if you have that, it will give you the access to have them read things that are they are able to sound out. So we want them to be able to read things they enjoy, and that's fine too. But just realize they may come to you and say, I don't know what this word is. And you can practice and just model for them all the different sounds and how you did that, because that's how they're starting to map in their brain all these different ways to write and all these different spellings and all these different vocabulary words. Okay, the last thing I wanted to touch base about is in second grade, we move into what's called syllable types. So there are only very, very few syllable types. So I wanted to talk about them because in our school, that is part of our program. So if a parent doesn't know this, then they may be a little bit confused in what they're trying to do. So the first syllable type that we teach in first grade is called closed syllable. So a closed syllable is the only way you can make a short vowel. So again, going back to my word mat, ah. See how this is the short sound, ah, and it's closed in by a T. So that is what we call a closed syllable. So I could give you any made up word, like this is made up, this is not really a word, and you would know how to say it because you don't even realize it, but your brain knows that this has to be a short sound. Okay. And the reason is it's closed in. Okay. So the next one that we teach is what we call open syllable. So it's closed or it's open. The open syllables have a vowel that's going to say what we call the long sound. So hi, it's going to say I. All right. If I closed it in, it no longer says I. Now it says I and it's closed. It's hit. And then the last one that we start to learn about is what we call vowel consonant E. So there's that silent E that I was just talking about. So for example, pine, you don't hear the E. and you hear it makes the vowel say the long sound. So that would be first grade. Second grade, we learn all the other syllable types. So by the end of second grade, they have all syllable types learned in our program. So let me tell you, we just learned the 3, but there are a couple more. So the next one is called R control, and that would be anything that has an R before it, like AR, OR, IR, ER, or UR, okay? Any of those, the R controls the vowel. For example, you could say start. That would be what we call an R-controlled syllable. So again, going back to being able to sound out anything once you know your syllable types, let's just do a made-up word. So if we said, if I said that, which is a made-up word, I would go slurt, slurt. So some people don't really like Dr. Seuss books, but these Dr. Seuss books are made up of a lot of made-up words where they have to be able to decode. So there is a benefit. All right. The last thing that the other syllable types I wanted to show you is vowel teams. So when you get 2 vowels together, like street, okay. Oops, let's put an R in there. Street, okay. That would be what we call a D syllable or a double vowel. And that counts for like AY, OI, any of those. So like coin or play, these would be what we call our double vowels. Okay. So the last one that I want to tell you about is the last one that we teach, and it is the one that you will see the least amount of. We teach them in order of how many that they will encounter. This one you will have not really that often, but it's called consonant LE. So you have some type of consonant and then the sound L and then a silent E. So it'll say ol for LE. So if I said like apple, and it's always a 2-syllable word, which is another reason why it's taught last. So for apple, apple. Okay, whoops, let's find our, there we go. This is short, so this is going to be closed. And there's our consonant, our L and our E. And so that's what we call consonant LE syllable. Okay, so those are all the syllable types. So you can play around with those. You can play games with those. You can make up words. Tell your student, try to make up a word, and I'll try to figure out how to say it. Or you could do it for your child, or challenge them. Try multisyllabic words. Try even maybe like a grade level higher and see if they can figure out all the syllable types. I find that once they learn the syllable types, they love trying to figure it out. So I hope this helps. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate, and we'll see you next time.